Oh, g'day, champions. How the flippin' heck are we? Signal's a bit hot. I'm gonna knock it back a bit. Audio recording. Audio rec level. Minus. Hey, yo. I think that's better. Okay, 7. Alright. Picking up where we left off yesterday with this 4102. Did I say 4100 yesterday? Thinking it was a head unit. I don't know what I said, mate. Moving on. We got signal, yeah, everything good. Sweet. Let's get into it. Made yesterday's stream a members only. I think I might do that from now on. If you happen to be here when we're going live, then good for you. But if you want to watch it later, you got to be a member or something. You know, dangle that carrot. People will whinge. Oh, I can't afford it. It's $3 a month, mate. So, we replaced this output transformer yesterday. I showed you on the scope why the last one needed replacing. G'day, Liz. What's going on? No waffle, sorry. I've got a smoke detector right above my head, so I don't have the luxury of destroying the house that I own like Big Clive does, because I don't own a house. So the ends of these terminals are a little bit melty, so let's clean all that up. Someone had desoldered this before and had a bit of a play because the customer did come to me saying it was the output transformer. Normally I'm like, we've been reading that on a forum, but no, someone else has been in here and had a test or something, so I'm not sure what the deal was with there, why they didn't go ahead with it or whatever, but maybe it was the customer himself. Maybe he found out some info. I can't remember. We'll prep the leads. G'day, Dad. Deja vu, eh? I've had hay fever today. I chopped in to see a mutual friend of our friend we talked about yesterday that passed recently, and his dog jumped up on me. Long-haired thing, so straight away my eyes went all puffy and started running nose and blocked sinus and stuff. Yay, allergy boy. I don't normally get hay fever, it's just animals that trigger me. I get used to them though. If I live with a particular dog, I might get hay fever for the first week, but then my body just goes, shrugs it off after that. Stupid body thinks it's a threat when it realizes it's not. It just deals with it. But then I'll get used to that one dog. Their particular proteins in their dander or whatever it is, the saliva. And then another dog will come along and I'll get hay fever from that dog until I'm around it for a long time. So, yeah. Cats are a big one too, because they lick their fur. The proteins in their saliva stick to their fur and they spread around everywhere. And I get massive hay fever if I'm anywhere near a cat. I used to work with this this bloke who he's just they were massive dog people. Like the dog slept in their bed with them and shit. Like fuck that. But he'd come in sitting in an office like a couple of feet from me, and his jumper. He's a bit of a bushy bloke, so you know he wore his big like sort of flannelette jacket or jumper or whatever, and because it's like a felt sponge, that shit, all the dog fur stuck to the jacket. So you know, get hay fever all the time because the bloke was just constantly covered with dog fur. It's gross. And you get the same old, when you work with toxic male people, if you get hay fever, like literally something that you have no control over, they say, toughen up, princess. And you've got to sit there and push through the day with your face constantly just dripping fluid and sneezing constantly and a feeling like you got concrete in your nasal cavity and a massive pounding headache. But you just got to toughen up. Don't get rid of the cause or nothing. Just toughen up. That's why I left the construction industry, because most people in it are like that. Alrighty, so we'll get this, just in summary, we'll get this transformer replaced. Then we'll replace these screen grid resistors. I've got to go through the emails and figure out if he wanted to go for 5881s or EL34s. I think I wrote in the email, please notify if the EL34s are desired, otherwise we will install 5881s. So if there was no description as to that, I'll just go ahead with the 5881s. We can always change it back later if he's specifically after the EL34s. But I was having this discussion with a customer the other day. You really can't, it's very hard to tell the difference between different output valves run at the same region if they're in their linear region. If you're not pushing them into breakup, they all behave pretty much the same, man. Negative feedback's kicking in as well. There's not a lot of difference. If you're not cranking like a plexi, non-master volume plexi or something like that, yeah, sure, you'll get differences between valve types, but a master volume thing where all the distortion is coming from the front end, and you're not pushing it anywhere near the maximum output power, you're not gonna notice much of a difference, if any. But it's hard for them to market valves in that respect. So they'll tell you that, oh, this one's real punchy in the bottom end, but it's punchy in the mid-range, but it's punchy in the top end too. And this one is strong in the bottom end and it's strong in the mid-range, but it's very strong. They'll never say it's like mellow in the top end. They'll say like articulate. So they can't say it's too much of something or not enough of something, because that might have some people out there that'll, oh, but I want it to be bright. And if they say mellow top end, well, then they'll cancel out that part of the market. So they'll say things like articulate, because who wouldn't want articulate top end, right? It doesn't say anything, but it sounds nice. I left a Facebook group recently. I left a lot of Facebook groups recently because Facebook's a fucking shithole. But there was a making fun of audio files page, and they were talking about like viola strings or something, and it said something like they sound aristocratic. Like, apparently that's a descriptor of the sound of an instrument string. It sounds aristocratic. So we all started making fun of it. It's like, what does that mean? It's like inbred and, you know, rich. And all these, you know, cork sniffers started firing up at us, going, "Oh, you don't get it. Do you play an instrument?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I play many instruments. In fact, I sell orchestral strings, and none of them are described as aristocratic." They go, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." They always challenge you. It's ad hominem attacks. You got to learn to recognize this stuff on the internet these days, because it's going to happen more and more. When someone doesn't have an argument, they attack you and they criticize you and they discredit you, and that's what they were doing. So I said to the guys, look, literally the reason this page is here is to make fun of people that have subjective, unsubstantiated claims. And now you're defending it on that very page. Do you not see the irony in that? So, yeah, I thought that was ridiculous, and the mods did nothing to kick these idiots off, so I just thought, I'll leave that page. That's a waste of time. So anyway, on to the poll. I'm not seeing any answers here. What's going on? How come you haven't answered the poll? Is it just... Oh, it's just because it doesn't show shit in OBS. There you go. 96% say I'll like the stream, and 4% say become a member. Bloody legends. Good on yous. Anyway, I just thought that'd be funny to put up. I'll close that poll. Single digits. Excuse me. Back accepting new jobs or still chasing a tail? Well, I'm not chasing a tail. I'm trying to catch up on the existing queue. So I was accepting jobs for the first week, and I still am accepting ones that have contacted me prior. But any new inquiries, I'm putting off for now because we've got too much in the queue, and people get upset if I take more than a certain time to look at their stuff. So. I just want an amp that sounds great. Classic 1970 sounds is what I prefer. What kind of volume level, Sergeant Grinch? And what amp are you currently using? Damn it. I don't think that coffee was enough. And while I'm here, remember to change over to live chat so you don't miss any of the comments. Sometimes some comments can be confusing because there's no context to them because you missed part of the conversation. So click it over to live chat and you'll have less of a chance of that occurring. I need to put chat up here, I think, so I can look at the screen instead of looking down at my stupid bald head. Oh. Phone wants to update again. What's new? Oh, man. Your channel. Turn the volume down. I don't need to see myself live. I just need the chat. So I'll put the phone up there on chat. None right now, but I'm a Marshall fan. I'll tell you what, if you're after something to build, Sergeant Grinch, or even something off the shelf, just from the sounds you're describing, just get yourself a 18 watt TMB. Gringo Pig, how you going, legend? If you get 1970 sounds, that'll push into that perfectly. The 18 watt TMB design is published everywhere, and you can get kits left, right, and center for them. People build them as well and sell them. They're fantastic amps. Not a lot to go wrong. Cathode biased, so inherently a little bit less complicated as a result. And they just sound really good. You could even build like just a single channel one. I find myself only using the master volume channel. The non-master, I tend to either use that on a AB switch to have like a clean channel, or yeah, just use the master volume and then ride on your volume with your pinky on your guitar like you should. Brad, do you have any big opinions about potted versus unpotted humbuckers? Personally, I prefer potted just because I play such a wide variety of styles. But if I was playing like country stuff or just pushing into the rock stuff, unpotted does have a sort of, it seems to have a livelier sound, probably because it's slightly microphonic and it's picking up some stuff from the body, makes it a little bit more complex. I do like the sound of a unpotted telly pickup, but until you push it into moderate gain, it just starts feeding back and becomes a pain in the ass. So generally everything I have is potted, because it also protects the coil to a degree too. It doesn't allow moisture and stuff into it, so it tends to sort of seal it. But I play such a wide variety of styles that it's hard to have a pickup that hits all bases perfectly. So pretty much everything I have is a bit of a compromise in the middle of the range. So I'm not a big fan of like the EMG and the Fishman with the real heavy mid-range. But when you crank it up for high gain stuff or down tune stuff, they're fantastic. Yeah, P90s can be great. They are a bit more susceptible to noise, having a larger coil area, and that's where you can go for like the P100s that are stacked humbucker essentially, but still sound like a P90. We were chatting last year. I want to throw you this Rex Base King. I'll reach out to discuss again. Yeah, well, look, you can bring it around as long as you're not in a rush. I don't expect an answer back within a fortnight. So I just realised, apparently Americans don't say the word fortnight, so don't expect an answer within two to 3 weeks. I'll have a look at it after that, and then go from there. And just bear in mind that it will be significantly expensive if it hasn't been restored before, if you want it to be restored. If you just want one problem fixed, that's fine, but you get no warranty because it's an old amp. So it's like fixing a door lock on a 1960s car as opposed to like restoring the engine. You know what I mean? Thanks, Andy. Bloody joined the small cappuccino club. That's what I need another one of this morning. I had what I think was late 60s JMP 50 watt that had been modded, master volume and jumping internally. I missed that amp. Man, if you return that to stock, that'd be worth a lot of money. Even the 70s ones are worth about $4,000 over here now. But the 50 watt Marshalls with the lower B plus are very nice. Excuse me for a second. Just got to blow my nose. Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is on the radio. I like Kendrick. Right, so I took some photos of this thing when it came in. I forgot about that the other day because the card was in the camera while I was streaming. Gibson discontinued the P94. P94, was that a stacked humbucker as well? I thought it was a P100. Images, pictures. Sort by date. We may not be... Sorry, the love heart's in the way. I got to fix that in the chat. What does the love heart do anyway? If I press it, love heart. Okay, it just gives you a little thing in the corner. Why does it give me that option on my one? Thought that'd be other people's chat. We may not say it in... We may not say it. We in the US should know what a fortnight is. Yeah, but we should in the US should know what a fortnight is. My dream guitar is a 1954 with staple in the neck, and P90 in the bridge. Oh, okay, P94 is a potted P90 basically. Humbucker size. I thought P90 wasn't specifically unpotted though. All right. So this is how it is at the moment. That's what I made my thumbnail out of. That was the bottom side of the Blues Deluxe from yesterday. That was me removing the silicon to apply new silicon. That's how it came in. Blah, blah, blah. Burns. Oh, this was a Friedman Runt 20 from the other day. Very nice amps. The Runt 20 sort of hits all bases with everything that you'd want to need. Everything that you could want or need. This is their cool little DI module, and it's got speaker simulation filtering on it, and it's got transformer coupling. And yeah, this customer of mine, he said the sound guy loved it because he could just plug in a DI, forget about a mic, or have the DI as a backup. But he said that the DI sounded so good that he just ended up using that. So this one came in with failed caps because the stock ones with that ARS brand, ARS, and one of the nodes had failed. The screen node had failed. So there was a lot of ripple coming through. And crosstalk and all sorts of horrible stuff. So we just replaced all of them. But it was cool to have one in. I haven't seen the Runt 20 in person before. I've seen a couple of other Friedmans, but usually earlier ones. This is one of his full PCB design ones. Look, I'm a big fan of these things. It's got everything you could possibly need. Effects loop, clean channel, which sounds very nice, and overdrive channel. Overdrive sounds a lot like the Dirty Shirley. There's a bit of top end filtering happening there, rounding off. So yeah, very cool amps. Very, very nice and easy to work on too. And if you have a failed pot, very easy to replace. And a lot of correct fusing, as you should. The only thing I'm not a big fan of, and I think he's changed all this now because I think he doesn't use axial caps for anything. But see, you've got these. Damn, I forget how good the Sony is at taking photos. I am zoomed in a lot there, and that is. See how small that cap looks? And you zoom right in. It's only like there where you start seeing pixelization, where the cap's bigger than the screen. Wow. Anyway, I don't like power caps, power resistors hugging capacitors, whether they be axial or radial, but in this case, axial's got a maximum sort of surface area with the resistor, so you can see it's sort of occurred here, it's occurred here, and it's occurred here. That one's sandwiched between two. And just having like heat generating components that is bolted to a ground plane, which is acting like a heatsink, which is better. But I like to keep the caps away from the heat generating parts wherever possible. But besides that, it's really good, and I think he's, like I say, I think he's using radial for everything now, so that layout's probably significantly different. Okay, so that was our transformer before I undid the secondary. And that was the resistor that I found in the bottom of the chassis. It had fallen out, and the other ones fell out when I inverted the board. And that was the wiring for the primary. Let's rearrange these wires a bit. Excuse me. Sorry, Chance, just gotta blow my nose again. God damn it. Gazcow, anyone have the dimensions for a head first FX loop board? Yeah, well, I've got one right here, so that it's unpopulated though, so I can give you the board footprint. Let's grab my little box of boards. It's the classic 30 replacement boards I made a while back. It's an old Blues Junior. An old fried up, cooked up, hacked up classic 30. There we go. I did this amp a while back. I think I did a video on that amp. Yeah, they've drilled holes and dug out bits and used blue tack or putty and all sorts of shit. Serious amplification. He's a very serious boy. That's his power supply board, universal. Very handy. Here's the Sirius effects loop. I think the dimensions are about the same as the head first. Where's the head first? Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's the head first one. Same size. So, Gaz, you ready? Always rewind. 79 millimeters by 44 millimeters. And it's a 1.6 mil board. There you go. Here's his origin Origin 50/20 board. So if I find a cheap one of those amps lying around, I might do a video on this. As well as his Sweet Lucy overdrive. So SLO, getting on the naming amps after chicks train. Sorry, I'm just mentally reverse engineering the board as I look at it. Why is there a big net class margin to the relay coil supply? I don't know. Anyway. You need to know the hole centers there, Gaz? Let me just show you. I'm going to put my calipers, so just put them down. Oh, on the stool. Alright, so when you go in center to center, don't measure the center of the hole because it's like an arbitrary, like how do you tell you're in the dead center? All that matters is center to center. So if you're in the middle of the hole, right, how can you sort of visually tell? You could be like 1/2 mil out one way or the other. So I like to go off an edge, so you can go like whatever's easiest, but possibly from just the edge of the unit, the footprint to the footprint, and the center is 38 mil. So there you is. Alrighty then. I'll just check I put the open sign up. I got the lights off back here because it looks better on video rather than reflecting on my bald head. Yeah, all good. Why does my phone turn itself off? Damn it, stay there. I think it only stays there if it's playing. Can I keep? Lock screen? Lock screen. No. Alrighty then. Video is crisp. Well, it better be. Oh, Brad, did you see Lyle's video praising Mesa this morning? No. I somehow think you might be bending the truth a bit on that one. I like the Friedman JK Lee amps. Yeah, they're fantastic. Poor Lyle at Mesa is a mess. So he praised Mesa, but it was a mess? I guess I could watch him because he won't copyright claim me. Hopefully. I could content steal off him. Let's have a quick look. Let me just find it first. I did see him post it, but I got out of bed and came here. Poor strategy.
As a rule of thumb, I no longer work on Mesa products, and I don't recommend Mesa products, whether made by Mesa or under the new Gibson ownership. And I get a lot of flack from that on this channel, and people dismiss what I have to say, and that's fine. It's their right to waste their own money. This particular one is a Strategy 88, a huge bass amp with 86550s. And it originally came in because it had burned in this area. It had burned up these plate resistors. It had burned the grids, the screen grids down there. It had burned the grid stoppers. The bias circuit was all chewed up. They have those little blue box trim pots, and someone had used the wrong screwdriver, and they were all shattered. And a few other things. There's a electrolytic in the main supply, in the main preamp now that used to be a tantalum that had died.
Tantalum,
the usual
fancy
stuff.
that.
And I rebuilt all that, and I had to rebuild some of the stuff on the output board there. Like that's a new relay, that's a new opto coupler, some new resistors, and a new Darlington transistor. All those things had been affected by the output going wonky. And the amp seemed to be okay at that point, but occasionally it would start to do lightning shows or just make distortions in its output at higher levels. And I took the amp back in, and in testing, everything seemed to be fine on the scope for like an hour or two. And I'd turn it off, and I'd come back, and then the next time I turned it on, it would have problems within 5 minutes, and the next time, it'd be 3 hours before the problem came back. So it was really difficult to troubleshoot. And at some point during this testing, coincident with it drawing too much current, all of a sudden, there was a spike in current, all of a sudden, the output level dropped dramatically. The big expensive output transformer tested fine. So then I went through and started measuring things, and I changed those out. But then I noticed these pinhole burns here and over here, where the actual traces had self-immolated. And mind you,
Look how
all
thin
I
the
was
traces
doing was
are.
operating the amp. There had been no inciting incident. And then I found that traces here were
The
burned
traces
on
work
top,
like fuses.
and here were burned on top.
Messes.
And I thought, well, what the hell? It has been drawing way too much current. The most obvious place it could be would be a short in any one of these capacitors associated with the various low voltage supplies. So you've got 12, 8. So I need to pull this board out to be able to do that,
Short under the cap,
access
maybe?
underneath the side of the board.
Leaking
So of course that meant taking everything off the front panel. You've got to pull the quick connects off the power, and that's not good. Now this is an APEM switch. It's still available. Hopefully it's still available with this bat now that Mesa
the bloody
burned
switches,
traces that had just
Goddamn, look
nuked
at that.
themselves. And here's the thing. All these traces are very large if this were a cell phone. All these traces are very large if they were a VCR.
Yep.
These traces
a valve
are
amp,
comically small for a tube amp. Entirely, you can see it kind of flapping off
Lapping off.
there. That's always a good sign. All wire and recreate all these tracks. Not be able to burn itself up like things should be robust. PCB
They
design.
should be robust. So how does he end it?
I don't
wanna steal his whole
enjoy
video. You gotta go
having
watch
all my
it.
predictions bear out. But, that's thermodynamics. If you have a problem with that, talk to Newton, not to me. I just mop the floors around here. Anyway, thanks for watching.
There we go. Sorry. So just by comparison, so I had my, I don't know, anyone who's got their finger on the pulse regarding these Marshall boards that I'm making knows that there's a few other blokes making them now, or designing them. I don't know if they're actually in production yet. I think I beat them to the punch in terms of actually producing them. But they were generally in agreement. Now these guys are young guys, they're not afraid of technology. They're very experienced and much more highly regarded than me, but that's not hard because I'm in Australia. So we've got Ollie in Scotland, we've got Rowan in the UK, and they were arguing that we should make as much on these Marshall boards surface mount as possible, and I was arguing against that, not because I'm a Luddite, but because I know Marshall owners over here, and they're all metalheads. They all drink like fucking, smoke bongs and sit there bong on the amp, and spillage and contamination and humid garages and everything like that is a factor. it seems to be martial owners in particular. They're all rockers and they're all lunatics in a good way. So board contamination and margins are incredibly important. So this is the traces. You remember mental image of what we just watched on Lyle's. And then here's the traces. That's sort of, what are they? Minimum width, I think, was 2 millimeters. And the average width in a Mesa is 0.5 millimeters. And that is 1 ounce copper Mesa use, and this is 2 ounce copper. So this is twice as thick and 4 times as wide as the minimum trace size. So you do the math. I zoomed in on my little orphan trace I was going to get rid of. Damn it. See that? A little nubbin. So I shied away from SMD stuff because you've got higher currents and higher voltages, and they do not play well with small electronics. The one thing I will have to change is some of these transistors in the switching circuit are now only available in surface mount. I've got a large batch of the TO92 package ones, but in the next revision I want to shore up supply a bit better on those. So those transistors, the JFETs in particular, will be surface mount SO23 or whatever the package is called. Martin Reed, how you going? There's something worth watching tonight. Really? What? My Mesa 295 is next in Lyle's queue. Shouldn't be the shit strategy. I think the 295 has its own issues. Have a look at my channel for the 290. It's basically the same amp. That one was supposedly expertly modified by a very prominent rig builder. But I've got my doubts about that after what we found. Doubt Lyle will find a new board. Yeah, I don't think Mesa are supporting anything anymore now than Gibson owns them. They want you to spend like $5 on an amp, and then if it blows up, just spend another $5, mate. I measure the diameter of the hole, then the distance to the outer edges of the hole, minus the diameter of the hole from that distance, and then... What? Just measure edge to edge. That's what everyone in the construction and joinery and industry and engineering does. Just edge to edge, and that's your center. Yes, the hole centers was going to ask. Well, there you go. What was it? 38. Something like that. Scroll back. Sean, you're getting everything. Came to YouTube to watch Lyle's new video, saw you live and joined there. Now I'm watching Lyle's video. There you go. Supposedly by John Petrucci's Tech. No comment. I can't confirm it, so I don't want to go putting names out there because it could be the person selling it just telling porcupines. Alex, there you go, my friend. Right, so where are we? Let's replace that C12. Just pull up a schematic. Oh, come on. Why do you have to click on PDFs like 6 times to open them now? You got to click on it. You got to wait for the preview pane to load it, and then you got to wait a second and then double click it again. Alrighty then. So, oh my God. It's easier by supply. It's pulling from the AC. Sorry, fucking nose. So it's an X-Class 250 volt AC rated 47 nano. But there you go, open circuit. So we'll replace it. The other thing is, for some reason, fucked if I know why, but they've only got grid stoppers on 2 out of the 4 output valves. See there, you got your 1.5k to that grid. Then you got a 1.5 to that after that 1.5. Some of them had just straight through and then only a 1.5k on one of the pairs. So you can move this wire to over here, and then they're both just 1.5k grid stoppers, but no biggie there. You got the 150k grid leaks. There's a whole bunch of mods you can do to these, but we'll focus on making the thing not catch fire first, eh? So we've probably got some blown fuses. Let's check that. That's how we were taught when I was doing mechanical engineering units. Yeah, but what's the advantage over just measuring from edge to edge? Jace wants you to design a new preamp board for the 900. Really? Suppose it'd be alright, but forget the reverb for starters. Because you have actual mechanics to your work. Yeah, well, I'm not. So. Oh, fuck, this hay fever is giving me the shits, man. You can't do anything. You got to stop every 5 minutes to blow your fucking nose. Where's your eyesight for the SMD stuff? Fine. I'm actually close-sighted. What do you call it? I can see shit up close, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, let's put some 1Ks in. Alright, what was the other one? A dropper? Well, it will be similar to the Origin circuit. Well, the Origin was just a sort of classic Marshall thing, wasn't it? Sold my Fluke 87 today, needed the money after Christmas. Fuck. That's not good. Never sell a Fluke. Let's put some lightweight V-shays in there instead of the big boxes, big cement boxes. That was another thing with the a lot of the PV circuits. They only had screen grid resistors on 2 out of the 4 valves, which is another source of failure. Get it let out. How you going, legend? Basically a modded 800 with a couple of personal touches. Yeah, well, that's the whole sort of Friedman thing too, isn't it? I think when I've got hay fever like this, the more you blow your nose, the more it irritates it, and the more you got to blow your nose in the future. Marshall hand-wired series worthwhile? I'd say yeah, but not at the price they charge you. I think it's the lead and base hand-wired looked really cool. Temp is a whole 5 Fahrenheit here in Detroit, Michigan today. Great day to be locked in the studio playing music. Damn straight. I hate the cold, man. Give me heat. Humidity. Humidity! Alright. Need a bit of fresh solder. I've washed the flux off that when I was cleaning the solder connections yesterday. Alright, just check the capacitance on this one out of interest. I'm going to change it anyway because they always fail. And we're still in tolerance, 46 nano. Three. What's the specs on that one? Just want to check the AC voltage on that bad boy. Part number. DigiKey. So that's rated at 375 volts, 354 volts AC, and 1.25 kilovolts. Bit of an overkill, but it's one that we don't want to fail. Bombay Bicycle Club. I've known them for a while. Is that a bit of a joke? Because, like, everyone in Bombay's got a bicycle. A little bit like a band that I love called Somali Yacht Club. That's not good. Spacing's a bit close for these resistors because it was those they were those box type resistors with the stakes on them, not the leads. They're close together under the body of the resistor. These ones. When you put a normal axial in there, you're dealing with the closer hole centers. So I'll just bend them in a bit. Bend them in a bit. We could just put the screen grids directly on the valve sockets, which is another option, but because this was made for 5881s, I think they moved them to the board because of the pin out. Your preference, 5E3, 6G3 or 18 watt Marshall. Uh... 11:15 p.m. in the Netherlands. Sorry, mate. It's hard to hit everyone's time. I have to say, I like how you do the resistor leads in DIY LC, Brad. Classy. What did I do? I forget. Resistor leads. Didn't every state have a Bombay Rock bicycle club back in the day? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Oh. If it keeps going like this, I'm going to go home, I think. Having your own business is a bit of a pain in the ass. Like, you can't just call in sick. And if you put up a thing saying, "Oh, closed due to sickness," they just think you got fucking cancer or something, and everyone tries to ring you. "Oh, you okay? You okay?" No, I'm just fucking sniffly, man. Just you put up a sign saying I'm closed due to sickness or illness, and then people still ring you, like, "Oh, but I've got this amp here." I'm like, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow or the day after, whenever I'm back." "Oh, but I've got an amp. I'm here now though." And it's like, yeah. Uh, This isn't working. The leads are still trying to go through. I'm going to have to bend them the other way. Pain in the ass. Closed due to explosive diarrhea. My God. We had a Bombay Bicycle Club, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Do I not know what a Bombay Bicycle Club is? I know I'm an idiot, but what is what is that mean something else? Bombay. Because I look it up and I just find the band. No, I'm just finding the band. What? We don't like our name. Oh, okay. So they took their name from a chain of restaurants in London. Right. They took their name from we hated that name. We don't like our name at the moment. They were called the Canals. That's what happens when you start young. It just sticks, but we were trapped. The Arctic Monkeys are successful. Took their name from a chain of Indian restaurants in London. I don't know what the story is there, so yeah, I'm just going to move on. Hi Lyle, by the way. Brad, where would you suggest for getting small runs of PCBs made? I'm also in Sydney and curious if there's someone local. There is, but you pay through the nose for it. I'll just use JLC PCB. You could give them a try. There's places in Sydney. Just look it up. The internet's your friend. Live music venues, Brad. Showing me age, mate. Bombay Bicycle Club is what? Is that a live music venue? I was self-employed once. I quit because the boss was a real dickhead. Brad's got sniffles, feet are cold, feet are fever. This isn't a fever. This is hay fever, which isn't really a fever. It's just an allergic reaction. So, yeah, I don't have a fever. I don't know why they call it hay fever. I think in real severe cases you can end up with a fever because your body thinks it's being attacked by pathogens, but it's not. But it doesn't last long. It's not an actual infection or anything. It's just my body being an idiot. Thinking something that is a threat when it's not. Alrighty then. One more resistor. Can't go wrong with a 5E3, and if you need a lead channel, just do what Mesa did and inject 2 gain stages between the reverb mixer circuit. 5E3 doesn't have a reverb mixer circuit. If you like 583, do what Rob does on his homemade one, and just turn the second channel into like a lead channel. That's kind of what I did on the Porque No Lostos. It's the 5E3 is a bit hotter than an average 5E3 in terms of gain. CCFL tube. What is it, 2010? CCFL? Who's using a CCFL tube? Oh, okay. Lead strip. Oh, so you're talking about what I'm using Kenner. Just replace it with an LED strip. You can tap off the 12-volt supply that's inside. Yeah, they don't use a lot of current. Benadryl. No, nothing works. Hay fever equals Benadryl is your friend. Nothing works, nothing works, nothing works except for time. I've tried everything, trust me. The only thing that did have a vague effect was pseudoephedrine. Now it's a pain in the ass to get because I think trying to make drugs out of it. Yeah, the Rob Deluxe is fantastic. 5E3, AB763, meh. They're completely different amplifiers, Alex. There's like nothing is the same. Get any tubes from Brad's favorite supplier, they'll eventually light up. Have you tried combos of second gen and antihistamines? I'm on 2 currently. It's a moot point. It's around for like a day and then it goes away. So I just sit it out and you'll be fine. Nothing works fast enough for it to actually show any effect. Because by the time you read the instructions on it, it says, you know, take for fucking 3 days and then it'll start working. It's like, well, it's gone in a day anyway. So nasal spray is a bitch to quit. Really? I fucking hate nasal spray. I can't stand it. It makes it worse. Oh, fuck. R35. Oh, God damn it. Alrighty. I've only got a 100 ohm dropper on the screen node. Huh. Man, Marshall really suck at drawing schematics, eh? Alright, so they've got a 3 amp, they've got a Pico fuse for the screen node. So is that open circuit? That's the next thing to check. No. 100R seems a little low. What you want? What you want? This doesn't have a choke. So on the JCM 2000s, they went up to 220 ohm on the screen dropper. But we've gone up to 1K on the thingy with the stuff, you know, the individual screen grids. But I might increase that resistance of that drop on. The only problem is there's not enough room for it and the lead spacing's too close. I might stick with 100 for now. They're just comically large things. Now I'm going to see if I can fit a 220 in there. No, they're too bloody big. Decisions, champs. I'll go 120. It's got shorter leads, so it's not floating around in midair. A little bit marginally higher. Bend the leads over a little, give it a touch of mechanical support. Oh, this is annoying. I think I'm going to cut the stream, legends, because my nose is just dripping. Alex, I wouldn't use ELY for anything, to be honest. I think it's kind of delicate, and heating it to get it in the slot there probably wouldn't work. And it also wears out reasonably quickly. You got to replace it every couple of years. It goes real dull. Anyway, I'm going to cut the stream because I can't breathe. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for liking the stream if you haven't, everyone. I'm going to go and leak snot somewhere else.